Welcome back to the Morning Blend. Our next guest says he never thought he was the type of guy who would one day work with young people, but he does now and decided he had to write this book.
That's right. It's called Painting Pictures, Reframing the World of Inner City Youth. It's about kids who learn early that they have to figure out the rules of the streets or fall victim to it. It's also about how important it is to show these kids a different, more positive life. Please welcome Corey James to the Yellow Couch. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. It's good to be here.
Yeah,
thank you.
I think this is great. We already started having this fascinating conversation during the commercial break, really about how you really felt the need to kind of shine a light on this issue with young kids in the inner city, even though you yourself did not grow up in the inner city.
Absolutely, you're correct. I did not grow up in the inner city. I grew up in a very sheltered environment. And that being said, when I felt the mission, the calling to do what I'm doing now, it was very intimidating. Because how can I go into these neighborhoods? How can I talk to these young people? And I really don't have the background that they have had. So what am I really going to say to them? Because I don't have the credentials that you would say on the streets.
And what kind of credentials are you talking about that you didn't have?
Yeah, so I haven't been incarcerated. I haven't been on drugs. I haven't been in a gang. And all of these things are when you go to young people and you say, like, I've been where you have been and I made it. And I looked at other people and they have done that. And so I was like, okay, they're good. They can actually relate to these young people, but I don't. So that was very intimidating coming in.
So how did you get respect going in to mentor and speak with inner city kids and really try and get them to understand there's another life out there waiting for them?
So in the beginning, I thought I had to become tough. So I tried to figure out, how do I get this tough demeanor? How do I act like I have street credit, right?
Yeah.
But then I realized that all I needed to do was be me, be Corey, and I had to be genuine. I had to show love. I had to show compassion, and I had to stick with it. And once these young people saw me stick with it, continue to stay with them, support them, inspire them, I then received, I guess, the credentials, the credibility that is needed in order for them to respect me. And then I found out, wow, this is my niche. The young people are gravitating to me like never before, and they are changing. And
I think this is going to be tough for a lot of people because they feel a need to make a change. They want things to change. They just don't know how to make it happen. And one of the things that's very clear is that maybe these kids want respect, but they don't get it because they want to be loved, but they act out in very unloving ways.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite quotes, that those that need the most love will show it in the most unloving ways. And that's the situation that we're in, because people see them showing out in unloving ways, being defiant, being delinquent, and they're like, okay, these kids don't want help.
Cheating,
lying, cheating, lying,
stealing,
aggressive. Exactly. There's actually a chapter in the book called Life is like a game of spades. And when you're playing the game of spades, spades will change your personality. It makes you more aggressive. It makes you go into cheat mode when you have a bad hand. And I say that's what's happening to our young people. They have been dealt bad hands, and because they don't have the right partner across the table, they are going into cheating. They're becoming aggressive, stealing cars, on drugs, because they don't have the right person on the other side of the table to let them know that we can win the game together.
When you're talking about these kids who see horrific things, they see people being killed in the streets, they don't know, you know, if their parents are going to be home at night. A lot of fathers are not in the home. Those are things that you say are really important to change. So how can we instigate or create change to allow them to see a different life ahead of them?
They have seen so much trauma, and because of the trauma that they've seen, they are reenacting the trauma, because that's natural for us. We become a product of our environment, and that's what's happening. So what we have to do is show them a different picture. I talk to young people all the time, and they talk about how they feel trapped, how they feel like they're in a dead end, how they feel like they can't make it out, and they are content with that because that is what life has given them. But in order for us to let them know that there is an alternative, there is a better picture to be painted, we have to show them that picture. We have to inspire them, we have to motivate them, and what I love is exposing them. I can preach all day and say, you know, you can be successful, you can go to college, you can have a family, but if I'm not showing them what it looks like to go to college, what it really looks like to be successful, if I'm not taking them to different geographic locations and also helping them realize and meet people that they wouldn't come across in their normal day.
So is some of it field trips? trips, you're saying?
Yeah, field trips. I would take them to different cities, taking them to different states. I'm looking to actually do an international trip with our young people this year because they need to see something different than the community that they live in.
Yeah, they can't. You can't just ask them to imagine it. We're running out of time quickly. There's this word fatherlessness.
Yeah.
That's the reality for a lot of inner city kids. Is that there's no father figure, totally absent and missing from their lives. How do you overcome that?
It's hard to overcome that because the father is the binder to the cake, I say in the book. It's a missing ingredient. And while we can't be the missing ingredient that the father plays, we can actually be a substitute. And in that substitute, we can provide that direction. We can help our young people give them their name as I believe the father does for the young person. So if we begin to teach them, to motivate them, become a male role model, and help them figure it out, I believe we can help with that missing ingredient component.
I love it. People can get a copy of your book at your website.
Yes.
It's paintingpicturesinc.org. Learn more about this topic and more about Corey James and the work that he does. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Great talk.